Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house, and we are excited to have her. Coach, when you come, you always bring such wisdom. And so, with that, we're just going to get started. I just want to remind everybody that you can actually book an appointment with Coach Caren, and we'll be putting those links up soon. And you can also take her courses online. So, with that, we're going to get started. Coach, what you got for us today?
Today we're finishing up the power. I'm so excited. The the power mat, to jumping into your power. Okay, guys, I get tongue tied. This is exciting for me to talk about because I know how great it is. Stepping into your power. I mean, sometimes we give away so much of it that we forget. We forget everything that we have it and what have you. So we got to step back into our power. Like my office is in crazy zone right now because I'm rearranging things and getting things back to where I want it to be. So you see my cards in the back there? Yeah, everything's just plugged in, ready to go. But I am reshifting things so that I can come in and do my work daily and not move things around because a lot happens in this office. All right. So today we're talking about stepping into your power. And it's part three because we did part one and two before. So I'll just briefly bring you up to date. If you didn't go back and watch them, they're really good. We talked about what is it you want, and we talk about understanding that power move that you need to make. We went in and talked about living your life right now, and we hear the buzzword, but do you really live it? And guys, when you feel you're sliding off of it, because it happened to each and every one of us, we just have to come back and know what that why is and get back to work at it. Don't waste time being upset with yourself, angry, frustrated. Let those things go out the door and just know you're back in it and you're working through it, whatever that thing is. Don't let it hold you too long. You know, I tell people all the time, you're feeling really exhausted, take a day off. Take a personal day for yourself. And when you take that day, don't try to cook and clean and take the kids somewhere. Just take the day for yourself. If somebody call and ask you to do something, say, no, I have an appointment. And that appointment is you taking the time off for you. I'm meeting with a client. That client is you. Do whatever you need to do. Spa day, relax day, whatever it is. If the money can't take you certain place, take the other place. Okay. There's always a place you can go. So even if it means you take a day and you just read a book for the day, like you all day long, you read, you ate, you went to the washroom, you just read a book. You went for a walk, it's still yours. Take it. Enjoy it. Today, however, we're going to cover solving a problem. We're going to talk about who are you assisting, because if we're jumping into our power, that great power that we have, God has done giving it to us. When we're in there, we're helping people. We're business owners. We're mothers. We're daughters. We're wives. You know, we are jumping in and we're helping people because we are in our powerhouse. This is why we always got to look after ourselves first. I know people, I know people have said, and we have been trained that that's not true. But when you don't have enough in you, how are you going to give it to somebody else? This is why one and two, we talk and we focus on looking after you. Now we're going to talk about who are you assisting? And I want to be specifics on it. You know, we hear find your avatar and what have you. That is good. But who are you assisting? And that's where that come into place. So you get some people say, well, I got a lot of avatars. Okay, that means there's a lot of you that was around before. I understand that. And you want to help each and every part of you, and that's why you're helping those people. It's a subconscious thing, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but the he or she that you're helping was the previous you last year or 2 years ago. And so you want to help you at 9. You want to help you. I know I figured that out for myself. You want to help you in your 20s. You want to help you in your 30s or 40s. You know, if you're old like I am now, you're like, oh my God, what can I have done for my 50-year-old? But you don't know that what you're doing, you're just seeing it in the other people. And you're seeing the ways because you've lived the life before. This is why you want to help them. Trust me, you're going to help all of them, but you first have to help the person right now. So maybe it's the person, if you're in your 30s, that is hasn't stepped into their 30s yet. Maybe you're helping that person because you understand the pain in the 27 to 29 phase, and you're seeing that and you understand that's what you can shine in. Okay, go for it. Older people are going to come, younger people are going to come, but your main character in this movie, because that's what we're playing in, and you're helping. Let's put yourself as the assistant to the star. Okay, so this person is the star of their show, and you are assisting them to do really well. You're their understudy, and so figure out how you're going to help your understudy do really well, because when you do that, you will do well. So solving a problem is helping another human improve in a tiny area. We think that we have to help people in a big area. We want to make a big impact, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And that is all good. But first, you're going to have to help somebody do something really tiny to you, but to them, it's a big deal. It's a big deal even if they don't know it's a big deal. Because when life turned them around, they'll say, I remember when. And it might be just a statement, a phrase, something small happened. And you'll be remembered for that tiny step that you helped somebody took. Whether you got kids or you got nieces or nephew, or think about yourself when you were little and there was a pond or a little pool of water because the rain fell, right? And you were debating if you can cross it, and a friend took your hand and said, you can jump over the pond. Look, I did it. That friend becomes such a close friend of yours because she helped you jump over the pond, even if it was for the semester. But if the friendship developed further, then you'll find that that friend will help you in bigger pond situation. Maybe take notes in class for you. Maybe walk to the corner with you. Maybe have, in my day, and you guys call this a sandwich with you. Maybe you guys bring lunch together, eat together, and talk about what's happening in your life. That grows, but it started with she saying, let me help you jump over the pond. So you see how tiny that was? But she helped you. And now you know you can jump over the pond because it looked so big at the time, but she's coming. She says, hey, I can jump over the pond. I bet you can too. And both of you now is over the pond. And that's the tiny that you'll be helping the person with. So whatever their tiny is, whether it's because they don't know how to set up their first email, or in my case, I'm letting them walk through the idea that they can believe in the things that they want, and give them the resources to turn the mind ever so simple to understand that this is possible. Now, we're not even touching everything. We're just doing one thing. And sometimes that one thing, and this happened to me in the client already, all it was is she taking everything apart and creating this little space for herself to be her office. That was the tiny thing she needed, because every time she come in, she has to clear away stuff. And by the time she's finished, she's like, I can't get any work done. And so the goal was to set up a zone, tell the kids, hey, this zone is not to be touched. We're not piling anything here for mommy anymore. Everything comes going to go over here, and then mommy will sort it. We'll do it together. But over here, mommy zone. They even help her write a little plaque that says mommy zone. And so nobody's putting anything in mommy zone. So mommy can literally come and work for 2 to 3 hours. I'm telling you, when you have to do things before you get to work, it gets hard and difficult, and you don't want to do it. So for you to step into your power, you need to come and be able to work, right? And so if you're going to be assisting people, we want to have you this. And that little tiny thing set the motion in several other things. Hi, little one. We got a little visitor today.
Say hello, Coach Caren. I'm learning already.
Good on you. Good on you.
I like that mommy zone.
And it's always so cute when the kids help you do it. You're like, they're involved. They're seeing what they don't know yet, but eventually they're gonna have to use it back and say, this is what my mommy used to do. And this is where my mommy's at now, We are talking 1 and 2 about stepping into your power. So by now you should know why you're doing it. And let me tell you, if it changes and you have to go back and find out why you're doing it, I don't want you to beat you up. Just go find out. Go find out why things have changed. Maybe because you've grown. I had a client the other day showing her when we're doing budgeting, and I'm showing she couldn't explain why she had no money. And once we look at the expenses, she was making enough. But because she was spending without paying attention, she was noticing she had no money. 3 weeks in, the money's done. Sometime she's not making it 2, 3 weeks. And we're like, this is not, let's see why. And of course, there were some things she didn't like, and that happens. Some mistakes she make. Okay, let's not sit there. It's happened. We're moving forward. How do we arrange it? How do we help you move forward? That's what's happening. That's what we're doing. So sometimes you can't remember your why. Go in there and pay attention to your behaviors. Set up a schedule. This is one of the things I make my clients do all the time. I need you to set a schedule, and I need you to bring it back to coach, and we need to go over it. Why? I want to see if it's realistic. We can have some cloud stuff where it makes no sense, but I want the realism in there, because if you know that something's going to take you 2 hours, I do not want you to give it an hour. So maybe because your day only allowed 2 hours, you're going to have to do it maybe in 3 days span versus the 1 day. It's better to take your time than feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, give up, and then you say, I never do good in this area. But the truth is, you didn't give it the time it needs. Give it the time it needs and let it do its thing. Whatever that thing is that is for you, that's holding you hostage. So if you change your why, it's okay. Go back, see it. Don't change it willy-nilly. But if you need to change it, go back and change that why. And then we work towards that. Everything is easier. Content creation is easier. If you're going to run ads, it's easier. You've got your goalposts. You know where you're going towards. If you're networking, you understand why you're there. If you're DMing people and talking to people in their inbox, because people make it feel like the worst thing ever. But the truth is, marketing and sales is your lifeblood. So you're going to have to be DMing people. You're going to be emailing people. You're going to get to network. You're going to run some ads. You're doing all this stuff. And you're feeling good about it because you understand your why. And if it changes, just change it. Let nobody hold you hostage in something that doesn't work for you anymore. Please hear that statement. Don't let anybody hold you hostage, even yourself, if where you're going needs to change.
I like being able to change my why, because we go through different stages, and sometimes if we're trying to force something that we've outlived, it can really be painful.
Very.
And you're not going to see the results you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for giving us permission to change our why. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to do things.
Yeah. Because we don't want to be in stuck state. It's a hard place to be. No matter which way you turn, you feel you can't move. You're chucked between these two places. And no, I don't want anything to hold you there. I want you to have movement, no matter how little and small it is. I want you to move. And I hint about a goalpost. So is there an end goal? And I say this loosely because we have to have several end goals. I really love when somebody have an end goal, and then once they watch the timeline, they give another end goal. I like to have that happening, because when that happens, it allows you to keep going. You don't feel like I hit my goal, I don't have to do anything more. And that's what happened to most of us. This is why people who made $10,000, it's hard for them to pass $10,000. When people hit 20, they're like, aha. And maybe they wanted to be a millionaire, they want to hit $1 million, and they haven't understand to themselves that I wanted to make $1 million net, my money, not $1 million revenue. That's a whole different story. And then you get there and you don't have $1 million, you're frustrated because you didn't state it. In that end goal, did you say, I want $1 million net, because it's going to afford me, while it's doing its thing, so that I can have X amount of dollars coming in, whether it's to use or reinvest in myself or business. Those are things you want to know at your goalpost. And then what is my new goal once I hit that? You need to tell your brain before you hit it also, because when you tell your brain, it doesn't feel like it has to stop and not move. It makes you feel like you want to start over. It feels like a start over situation when you hit that goal and you didn't set yourself up for the new thing. And let me tell you, it's an inner thing, but it's an outer thing too. I remember when my business was flourishing and I was starting a new business, and I told a friend, I told a couple of people, and I had this one friend that said to me, he says, you know, Karen, I don't want to tell anybody else. I was young and foolish. I was 22. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, I want you to tell nobody else. I'm like, why? Everybody would be happy for me. And most people were, but I have the few people that caused a little riot. And so sometimes you need to just go do the other thing. Because if people are not doing more than one thing, they don't understand that somebody else can. And it's their limiting beliefs that make them
That
think.
is so true, Coach. I didn't tell anybody about my business till I started actually making money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was wise. I don't think everybody can appreciate the
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial spirit
Yeah.
or what it takes, or and they can be very discouraging.
Yes.
You can get discouragement from one person, and it bring the whole thing down.
Yes. This specific individual, I really liked. We were really good friends. She says, I think if you start something else, you're going to lose the one you have already. And I was like, girl, how did we get here? Go to work. Leave me alone. And of course, guys, let me just admit, it felt like she said it and it happened. I came back from the trip. I had to take a trip abroad, and I came back and I felt like my business was done, because there's so many things that happened while I was away for the 2 weeks. 2 weeks I went away for, yeah, for the 2 weeks. And it was a business trip, but it took 2 weeks with what needs to get, because it was now setting the groundwork for what's going to continuously happen. And this was a import export business. And when I came back, like I remember her words, and I'm like, is she right? Like I started doubting myself, Terry. I went
Second
through this.
guessing.
Yeah, I was like, maybe she's got a point. Maybe I want too much. I went through this whole thing, and I had a big gentleman who'd like me like a daughter, and I don't know what it is, but he said, kind of, I haven't seen you in a while. What happened? And I told him, and he says, I was telling him what happened. And he says, that's a lie. That's the devil. Let's move on from that. He was like a mentor to me, in looking back now, him and another older guy. And I told the other guy too, and he goes, then tell nobody else. But if you're going to go back, you go do this. Just set it up differently. Could you fix what happened? I said, yes. He said, good. Then you just go from there. And those two guys were my, like, they were like, you can do this again. And I took some time, reestablish. It took me a couple of months before I could travel again, because I recognized and I realized the downfall in me. Not that that the people didn't do what they did, but what I could do better. Because if I could do it better, then I don't have to look to them in that regard and be disappointed when I return. And so I set the stage, and it allowed me to keep traveling and have my business. And when things happen, it's really nice when we have somebody in the corner who can say, hey, you don't have to give it up. This is just what happened. That's it.
It's just a bump in the road.
Mm-hmm. You can happen. This can happen
Have it
again.
all.
This can happen again. I had two big wholesale clients, and I let them know that for 2 weeks, I'm going to fill them up, but for 2 weeks, I'll be away and I wouldn't be able to supply, because I used to supply them weekly. And I was nervous I was going to lose, especially the biggest one. And he said to me, Karen, I'm glad you tell me, because I'd rather wait for quality than to get mediocre. So when you return, just pop in and let me know, and we're going to pick up back where we left. Nobody canceled.
Wow.
Nobody
You have a
canceled.
blessing.
So guys, this is to tell you, when you're worried, go speak to the people. If you're doing wholesale, speak up and let them know what's going on. If it's just regular clients, just reach out. Maybe they themselves wanted a break from continuously buying too. And you say, hey, and if you're coaching like me, you just say, hey, I'm going on vacation for the next month. Here's some things I want you to work on. This is not going to impede on the fees you paid me. You'll still get your time back. It's just that we're going to take a break. You can regroup when we can regroup when I come back, and we can pick up where we left off. And I've done this more than once with clients, and they were so thankful because they're like, Coach, I'm going to get some time to actually do some work I didn't finish doing for you.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know?
They grateful for a little extra
Yeah.
time.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna be good. When you come back, we'll pick up back where we left off. When I went on my first cruise, I remember was couples cruise, myself and a couple other couples, and one of the couples had their business and they were having such a hard time. And I said to them, I said, it's the first time you travel, that's why. Don't worry. After you do this a few times, you're gonna realize once you put it in system, you wouldn't have to feel this way. Remember when I tell you guys, like the things you learn, you get to pass it on to somebody else.
Yes.
Because they're at that stage where you went before, you panic. When I traveled, like who's going to do this, this, and that without my leadership? But all I had to do was train the people so they can stay doing what they can do and not give him the full throttle and leave
Yeah.
that for when I return. And
Uh-huh.
that's it. If you're in business right now, guys, and you could see you have a full-time job, and you're in business and you still want to stand in your power, you know the timeline you have. Take a little bit out of the profit and pass it over to somebody to help you. Maybe a social media manager, maybe a VA who does your social media and your emails, maybe somebody who will help you with creating content. And every time somebody says, how can I give that to somebody? I'm like, you have to sit and talk with them. A content creator can't just create things because they feel like it. This is conversation, guys. This is communication. You let them know your story and where your story, the business story, and where you evolve into. They're going forward for you, and that's what they're creating for you. You don't like it, they're not going to post it without you critiquing it. So it's not like they have the full reign. And
Yeah.
sometimes that little peace of mind helps you to go to work, feel way more at peace, because when you come back home, instead of 3 hours at the computer, you might only need to stay there an hour because somebody has taken care of that stuff. And although it might feel hard to pay out initially, pay it out. If you were going to pay yourself, and I tell people this is the other thing, I don't like by the hour, but when you're just starting out, you need to pay yourself by the hour. And here is why. It allows you to leave money in the business so you can do the things I just mentioned and you're still paid. That
Mm.
nonsense about waiting 2, 3 years to be paid, it tells on your subconscious mind, I'm doing all this work and I'm not paid. I don't care who you are. You need to get a little bit of something, however small. If you wanted to make $60 an hour, but the business can afford $25 an hour, then you pay you $25 an hour and somebody else $20 an hour. So
Mm.
now you're paying $45 an hour and the business is getting the rest. And you're
Ah.
still circling at the 16 hour,
Mm-hmm.
even though you're charging per project. And now it allows your systems to run so much smoother. It just allows you to know where money has to go and where money can go and
Mm-hmm.
where money will go in the future. Because none of this is to restrict you, make you think you can do. It's just where it goes and when it goes, where it's going.
Ah. Okay. I like that. I like the idea of being able to actually pay yourself and have help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anytime, I remember when I used to be talking to people going in and giving estimates for cleaning. And sometimes I say to moms, I'm like, it's not because you can't afford a cleaning service bi-weekly. And if it's really tight monthly, it's because you think you can't. And I'm not watching your pocket. It's because you think you can. Because if you come home and every Saturday you are tired to the bone and you still have to keep your house clean and take your kids to soccer practice and you're upset with hubby, you sit down and you say, Hubs, we need to get the cleaners in. I am not cleaning anymore. It's a statement. And then you sit and you say, we're not going to figure out how the finance is going to support this decision. And you make it work. You
That
make it
makes
work
sense.
because it's going to help your mind. It's going to help your body. It's going to help you.
And when we are happy, we produce more.
Yes.
We're more productive.
Yes.
And we can think things through because our mind is at ease.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You will see the difference. It's not a luxury anymore. Oh, this add-on surface. No, it's not a luxury. I had a couple that came from England and they came to Canada because of the husband's job situation. They had 3 kids, and she first had us come when she was moving house. She was a referral, and she would always say, "Karen, I'm so busy." I'm like, "Set it up and forget it." And the cleaners will be here like clockwork bi-weekly. We're coming to do the general, get her in the hole, and then we do it bi-weekly. The hubby came
Okay.
in and he was like, "Thank you. I want my wife have enough time to breathe. And this is one thing off her plate." He loved to
Hmm.
cook, so he did the cooking and she did the kids. I'm telling you, we put so much pressure on ourselves and we don't need to do it.
It's so true.
We don't need to do it. Now, if you're a single mom, you're like, Karen, well, that's good for the people, couples. Well, my company has cleaned for single moms too. They've just decided where they're going to put what where. And I often say to them, if you know that if you live in 2 floors, you do 1 floor this week and 1 floor the next week. Or you do the thing that takes the most time out of you. And that's where we come in and we do. Because especially the people who want to do other things, they
Yes.
need the time. And that's how we used to help them. That's how we go in and help them. That's how they get back their time. They're happy when my girls show
Let
up.
me let me say this too. When you're running a business, if you are using a cleaning service, that is tax deductible. It's a
Talk
business
to, yeah, talk to your tax people. That space, yeah, you can't get everything, but that space, talk to your tax person. Let them talk to your accountant.
expense.
Get things. Don't worry about, I know the internet, you can pick up stuff, but talk to the professional, talk to the
Yes.
experts, because they'll give you the number, they'll give you the percentage, so you're not wondering, or I hope John was right, or my cousin Morel told me. No, just talk to the experts.
Please, people, talk to a professional. I have a tax preparer. The first year I had to pay, but the second year, by then I had my stuff in order and I actually was able to get a refund.
Mhm.
People, stop it.
Yep. Just talk to them and they'll guide you. They'll say, listen, this year, as Terry's saying, you have to pay. But next year, if you do this, this, and this, and we do
Hmm.
this, you'll be better off. They'll tell you. They want to help. I never,
Absolutely.
I had one guy like, but my guy, my daughter's 30. I've had him now for 28 years. Every year he said, Karen, okay, we're good here. This is what I want you to do. I know what to do with money, but he knows what to do with taxes. Why would I want to say, oh, I know? No, he knows. And when I got a question, I call him. I'm not trying to figure it out.
Or ask your cousin or
No.
somebody who's not even in business. You know what I mean?
I want to know. I'm going to ask him. I want to do something else on the side. I'm going to ask him, okay, yes, Karen, but set it up this way and make sure everything passed through that way, because it
Mhm.
makes more sense for you and the business, for you and the home, for whatever. He's going to tell you, he or she going to tell you. Those are the people you want to talk with. All right, guys. So let me summarize what we did today. Terry's a little occupied, so I'm going to do it.
I'm here. We're here.
Oh my God, he's so adorable. Terry,
Sterling was
he's so
here.
yummy. Look at that face.
Say hi.
Look, he's
He's
looking around.
he's curious. He's looking
Yes.
at the chandelier.
This is good. This is good. You're so weird, buddy. Anyway, I'm gonna go right in so Terry can get back to things. We
I
talked
woke
about,
up just in time for the show, Coach.
right? In 1 and 2, we covered looking after you. In 3, we covered how you can assist somebody solve a problem. And while you're doing that, you are going to make sure you're servicing the right people. If your
Mhm.
why changes, you're going to decide on what that is and don't be boxed in. Allow yourself the time and grace to get there because it takes a minute. Okay, guys, it takes a minute.
Okay.
Don't rush it. And when you set your goals, and you set that end goal, I want you to, once you're there, once you understand all the work-ins, I want you to now set the second goal so that you are consistently moving. And the same thing applies when you get into, once you hit the first goal, celebrate like crazy though, please. And then I want you to pick up shop so that you can hit the second. And while you're going towards the second, you set up your third goal. We're always striving to do something else. So, and getting better in our business and learning, because goal is not only about money. Goal is about money, education, teaching yourself new things, getting a mentor, getting a coach, understanding how to be a trainer, how to delegate. These are skills that is not as easy as they sound. When you're in them, then you realize, hey, I don't really know this really well. Let me find out about it. Okay, so I'm gonna end my chat. I'm ending my class. I hope you enjoy this series. If you
You know what? This has been so helpful. And I hope that everyone will go back to part one, part two, and review all the nuggets that you left for us about this whole thing of stepping into our power. And I sincerely hope that you will make that power mat.
I'm looking,
That you will make that power mat
yeah,
so that we can feel empowered every morning.
yes.
Every morning, step out the bed onto that power mat,
Out onto your power mat.
or it can be in the bathroom when we're brushing our teeth. We're standing on that power mat, getting infused with all of the wonderful things
Mm-hmm.
that you have left for us in terms of wisdom and all of the power that God has supplied us with, reminding ourselves.
Yes, he's so
Thank you
mighty.
so much, Coach.
You're welcome.
I think that's going to be a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, I want to remind everybody that it's okay to make money in your
In your
business.
business,
So
yes.
go to the front of your own line. Remember,
Please.
if you are looking to become a part of BizChicks, I want you to know that you can simply text biz to 33777 and become a part of our community. We'd love to help you grow your business and let people know what it is you do
Mhm.
and how you serve. Coach, we want to remind people that if they're looking to make an appointment with you, let me scroll down here and see if I can find that special link. First, it's
Terry,
coming.
he's helping you look for it. Look his little eyes.
Is it scrolling? Okay, hold on. I'm going to find it. Yep.
So
Oh my goodness,
adorable.
Coach. Meanwhile, tell us about your new ventures.
Oh boy. In a couple of months, you guys are gonna be getting an invitation to come on board. Vision board, vision of possibilities got a whole new facelift. We're working on the videos and getting them edited. Uh, investigating you guys, finding out who you are is such a wonderful journey. And that's what our course is going to do for you. It's really going to help you see yourself in such a positive and great light. And when you get there, you're unstoppable. You're limitless, and that's what I want for you. I really want you to be limitless. That's it.
Wow. Well, Coach, this is the link for people who are looking to book an appointment with you.
Yes, yeah.
I
Right now, that's what we're doing. Yeah, the courses
I
we're holding off till all the videos are ready to go. But yes, you can book an appointment for us to have a chat. Yeah,
we highly recommend Coach Caren.
thank you.
And what we love about you, Coach, is that you simplify things for us. We here at BizChicks, we don't like convoluted crap.
Mm-mm.
We need stuff easy to understand and easy to do.
Yes.
And that's why we recommend Coach Caren. So with that, we want to remind you, hey, it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line.
Yes, please
We'll
do.
be back next week. Tomorrow we'll be talking with Robin Shamizu and
So,
friends about happy, healthy habits.
mm-hmm.
And on Friday we'll be talking tech in easy to understand ways, right? Yes, we will. We'll be talking tech. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, we want to say thank you, everyone, and thank you, Coach, for all you
You're
do.
welcome.
Just invaluable. We we love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye
Yes.
bye, everyone.
Bye bye.